Welcome back. Today we are looking at BGCSE Physics Paper 1. So let's look at question 1. So the question 1 says the diagram shows an enlarged drawing of the end of a meter ruler. It is being used to measure the length of small feather. What is the length of the feather? So the first thing that we need to pay attention here is that we are given 2 units, right? We have millimeter and centimeter, right? So our interest, we have to use the smallest possible units, right? So which means that the one that will favor us is millimeter because it has some small units, right? So the accuracy also improve with small units, right? So the first thing that we are going to do is to find what actually the small units represent, right? We are going to take 2 number, right? This one and this one. So we're going to subtract them, right? So we're going to say 20 minus 10 over. So we're going to take the small units, right? We start counting from this 10, right? And we don't include 20. So we're going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? We don't include 20 there. So this will be 10, right? So this will be 10 over 10, and then we have 1 unit. So every unit is representing 1 unit, right? So we have found the small unit, right? So we're going to find the actual length of this feather. We're going to take what? End point minus starting point. What is our end point? Where the feather end, right? It end here. Remember, each unit represent what? 1 unit. So this is 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, right? End point is what? 29 minus, what is the starting point? Starting point is here, right? At what? 10. So we're going to say 29 minus 10, which gives us 19, right? Remember, we are using 19 millimeter, right? So don't confuse and take this one. You are likely to end in trouble here. So this will be 19 millimeter. So our question 1, our answer is A. So let's look for question 2. Question 2 says a student wishes to find the volume of small irregular, right? Take this word, volume and irregular shapes too, right? So every time when you are trying to find the volume of irregular shape, you just place it in look it like water, right? And then you calculate the difference. So here the question says a ruler and a measurer containing some water are available, right? Remember, here we are looking at what? Volume, right? And then they are saying which apparatus is needed. So we are going to look at this. It says neither ruler or the measuring cylinder, right? So we don't need a ruler, so this will be wrong. So the measuring cylinder only, this one is correct. We will come back to it. The ruler, whenever you see the ruler, no, it's not used to measure irregular shape. So a ruler, so which means B is the best answer, right? So let's go to question 3, right? Question 3 says the diagram shows a ball hanging on a string. The ball swings from point W to point Z and back to point W. Which statement about the ball is correct? So the kinetic energy of the ball is greatest at W. Here is the starting point, so potential energy is here is high, right? Which means the kinetic energy is low. The kinetic energy of the ball is greatest at point X, right? So here it starts to gain some movement, right, and speed, right, in Y. That's where the speed is, the kinetic energy is high here, right? And then here, as it goes to Z, right, it will encounter some air resistance. So the kinetic energy of the ball is the same at all points. This statement is wrong. So the best answer here is C, right? The kinetic energy of the ball is greatest at point Y, right? So it encounters less air resistance from Y, right? So here the potential energy is high, right? So the kinetic energy here is high. So for question 4 says a measuring cylinder is used to measure the volume of a quantity of water. Which measuring technique will not improve the accuracy of the measurement, right? Pay attention to the word not. Make sure that the measuring cylinder is vertical. Yeah, this one is correct. So you can't make the measuring cylinder horizontal, right? You won't make a accurate measurement. So B says make sure that the water surface is at eye level, right? So the water should be at eye level, right? So that you can be able to read and the measurement correctly without making any estimation, right? C says reading the top of the water meniscus, right? That will be wrong, right? Remember when we were talking about meniscus, we were talking about something like this. Remember we have to take the reading here, so don't take the reading here. That will be wrong. So you take the reading here. This one is wrong. Use the smallest cylinder that will contain all the water so that you can easily make readings. So for the best answer is C. So let's go to question 5, right? Question 5 says the diagram shows 4 identical spheres placed between 2 wooden blocks on a ruler. What is the diameter of one sphere? So here the examiners are trying to find whether you understand what average. After you understand average, they want you to calculate units, right? So the first thing that you have to do is to calculate units, right? So we're going to say take 2 points, right? 5 and 10, right? So you're going to say end point is what? 10 minus what? Starting point 5, right? You are going to divide with what? The unit between them, right? You start by counting this, but you're not including the last one. You start from 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So you're going to divide by 5. So that will be 10 minus 5, right? And then divided by 5, right? This will give us 1, right? 1 unit. So we know that this 1 unit. So now we have to find the actual length, right? So we start with the starting point. This is the starting point the starting point is 4. What is the end point? 11, 12. That will be 12 minus 4 over number of ball of sphere, right? Number of sphere is 4. So we're going to have 8 over 4, which give us so we're looking at centimeter here. So we come to what is the diameter of one sphere. That will be 2 centimeter, right? So we are done with question 5. Let's go to question 6. A cook wants to prepare some food to be cooked by 1:15 p.m. right? He uses an oven with an automatic timer that can be set to switch on and off at a certain time. The oven needs to be switched on for 2 hours 10 minutes. At which time does the oven need to switch on, right? With this one, what you are going to do is that it needs to be cooked by 1:15. So 1:15 is what our end point. So that is what 13:15, right? And then yeah, I'm writing this time in 24-hour notation, right? So we have what 2 hours minutes, right? So the difference 5 minus 0 is 5, 1 minus 1 is 0, and then 3 minus 2 is what 1, 1 minus 0 is 1, right? So 11:05. You have to ensure that you start at 11:05 a.m. yeah, and then we go to, so this trick is they wanted to know whether you understand that 00 is a.m. right up to 11:59 before it becomes noon, right? So that was the trick. They just wanted to see whether you understand the time. So let's go for question 7. Question 7 says the diagram shows a measuring instrument. Which quantity is the instrument used to measure, right? We know that this is used to measure volume, right? So it's used to measure volume. Let's go for question 8. Which option contains apparatus that could be used to determine the volume of a small block of unknown material, right? We have to underline the word only, right? And then we have the keyword volume, right? And then we have block of unknown material. For volume, we're using a measuring cylinder. So measuring cylinder should be there. You are supposed to have stopwatch is not needed. This one is out. Meter ruler, balance is for mass, right? This one will be out. Meter ruler and stopwatch, this one will be out. So the best answer will be, let's go for question 9. The diagram shows a measuring cylinder used to measure the volume of small stone. What is the volume of a stone, right? You subtract the end point with starting point. So what is the end point? So before we calculate this, let's find so to find unit, remember we are taking the 2 points, right? Let's take 30 and 20. End point is what? 30. Starting point is 20. So we are taking the units between 20 and 30, but we don't include the first or the last one. But we're saying 20 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, there are 5 units. So 30 minus 20 is what? 10 divided by 5, right? 5 into 10, that will be 2, right? And then we know that every unit is 2 units, right? So to calculate this, we are going to take the radius under the bottom of meniscus here. So we've got 22, 24, 26, and point is 26 minus what is 13 point. We've got 12, 14, 16, 18, right? So you're going to say 26 minus 18. You take 1, 8. That will be 8, right? So the difference is 8. So 9 will give us A, right? So A is the best answer. For number 10, a student used a measuring cylinder to measure the volume of quantity of water. Which action will make a result less? Look at the word less accurate. Make sure the eye level is level with water surface. This one is good. Make sure that the cylinder is vertical. This one is good. Reading the bottom of meniscus. This one is good. Using the largest measuring cylinder possible, right? We need the small cylinder so that and the read is more accurate. So D is the best answer, right? So that's where we end with the free version. If you want to enroll with us, you can contact us on the number provided, right? So thank you for joining me. See you next time.